Hello, this is Elizabeth Preston, Director of Information Technology at St. Luke's School, giving you a quick summary of our inaugural year with 1+1. Huge thank you to the Learning and Technology Task Force and the committee worked afterwards, most especially Cleary, Jennifer, Mike, and Tracy Duncan, along with Julia Gabriel, whose work that led up to the spring arrival of this technology shaped where we are today. In the fall of 2013, the committee work spent a great deal of time looking at our devices, what we were going to be purchasing, how much they were going to be, what was the payment schedule for parents, what was the insurance plan going to look like, and all of that hard work behind the scenes led up to a very successful rollout. We began by getting devices to campus in June of 2014, and we were able to hire 4 college interns who worked alongside the 3 IT staff, Roger Dageston, PJ Clark, and me. And we were able to spend the month of July preparing these machines. Essentially, the students were labeling, unboxing, assigning, imaging, and developing the online rotations. So in summary, we approximately, for the work in July, it was about 896 hours to prepare these machines for deployment. In August, we had 4 orientation schedules. First orientation was on August 21st, where we rolled out all of the iPads for new 9th and 10th graders, and they participated in about a 4-hour orientation. Following that, over 2 days, August 27th and 28th, we had orientation for the laptops for the entire 9th grade and the entire 10th grade. And then in the first week in September, we had 2 half days with the 8th graders rolling out the iPads. So that orientation time covered a lot of topics around academic and classroom expectations, application overview, the acquisition of all of their e-texts, mail, contacts, and calendars, respectful use, acquiring their iPad apps, and more. So it was quite an extensive orientation, but it was really important to us that students were able to hit the ground running with their technology when school began. So by the end of first week in September, we had deployed 283 iPads along with 165 laptops, equaling 448 devices one-to-one on campus. In this number of 283 iPads also included students that were juniors and seniors taking part in the blended Level 1 language program. It was important that those students had access to technology, and we were able to assign all of those students iPads as well. After the devices were deployed, we got to work on forming a space for this. It was very important that we had a space for students to come to. We really wanted to model a space very similar to the Genius Bar, and actually had thoughts of calling ourselves the Student Genius Bar, but unfortunately Apple owns the copyright to that. And the philosophy behind the Genius Bar is that it's not a help desk and you aren't helpless, but you arrive to get help or get ideas and leave empowered. So the student group basically has 3 tasks. They have a client services piece, in that they are the person in charge during a given period during the day, and they are the first point of contact when somebody comes into the space. Additionally, students monthly are creating screencasts and bi-weekly creating blog posts. Those 2 items, both the screencast and blog post, exist. They aren't in the public forum yet. We're in the process of building a website for those to be published, hopefully by the end of January. Coming up with the name Brainstorm was a completely student-run project as well. Because we couldn't use the Student Genius Bar, we turned to our student community and asked them for ideas, presenting the concept of the space. and we received a number of submissions. Those submissions were then turned around and the student body was asked to vote on which one they felt was the best, and Brainstorm won. We then took that concept and put it on a design website and asked designers all around the world to contribute. And it was a contest website, and our members of the Brainstorm were able to review the different logos and decided on this particular one, which I think is perfect because it captures both the idea of that you are going to come to our space for issues surrounding the gears of the device, but there's also hopefully a great deal of idea generation, and so this logo we thought was perfect. So with 448 devices on campus, obviously we are going to have breakage. And I apologize that these charts really aren't that pretty, but I wanted to give you a sense of what our repair record looks to date. So looking at the past 2 years, even though this is our inaugural year of 1+1, we do have repairs from our iPad program in 8th grade in 2012-13, and then again in 13-14. So in the class of 2017, which is our current 10th grade class, when they were in 8th grade, we had about a 37% repair record. So this 37% of the devices on campus, so this is based off of the number of devices deployed one-to-one that year. And it can be a little bit misleading because one particular student, again, this is the number of repairs, comparing that to the number of devices, one particular student might have 2 or 3 repairs. It's rare, but it isn't exactly all 44% of the students' machines have been touched, but it's very close to that. So you'll see that there was a decrease in the in 13-14 and about a fairly comparable repair rate for the 8th grade class last year. I also thought it might be helpful to see year-to-date repairs. In 2013, we had about 13% of the iPads had an issue. By this time last year, 2 years ago. Last year we were at 4 and 5%, and this year we were at 5, 9, and 15%. I think it's also important to note that every machine in our building right now is covered, that's deployed one-to-one, that parents are paying a fee, is covered under insurance. And so students are coming to us, I think, less scared because they know that there is support, whereas I think last year these numbers in the beginning were low, and you'll see that, obviously they were fairly comparable in the end, but I think they were afraid to come to us and were sort of living with some broken parts on their machine, and it wasn't until after we did gathered up all the students and did a survey of their machines were we able to address some of the breakage, and I think that's why this number here is so low. We are working with a company called Worth Ave for our insurance. They've been pretty good. What we have been able to do and hoping to continue to do so is to use Apple for our repairs, and we've been submitting our invoices to the insurance company for reimbursement. Typically what most schools do is they submit right to the insurance company for the repairs, but for us that turnaround time is very different. Apple, we can usually get a fixed device back in the hands of a student in 36 hours or less, whereas with the insurance company it's 2 to 3 weeks for turnaround time. So anyway, I hope this short summary gives you a sense of our first year. Very exciting. We had a wonderful summer working with our college interns. Orientation was really exciting. The students have just been amazing, taking advantage of the Brainstorm space to pop in and ask questions, charge their device, or just visit. And so far the repair process has been fairly seamless. So thank you so much, and I look forward to your questions.